You are now tuned into Flippin' the Birds, a Philly Sports Network podcast.
What's going on, Eagles fans? Welcome all to episode 62 of Flippin' the Birds. I'm Bryan Cameron. He's Chris Infante, and today we're blessed by the head honcho himself, Mr. Liam Jenkins.
They just can't keep me away. I just keep gate crashing. So, the bye week comes around, there's no opponent, and I was basically begging to come on is exactly what happened.
I mean, it's not like you have outside the lines or this week in Philadelphia or all your breakdown videos or your reaction to Philadelphia outside the inside or whatever.
There's too many plates spinning at once.
It's not like you have reaction Philadelphia.
Don't forget, don't spread the love.
You have to invade our shit too.
Yeah, I'm just
like you're a boss or something.
A movable object. And since I've been going gym, I'm even more immovable. And me and Chris are going to have an arm wrestle when I get out there. And he's just going to go straight down. Like, it's not even a contest.
I like, sometimes my students ask me to do it, and I just stay there, and I just don't move. And
even your arm on screen looks the size of a tree.
Right in front of the camera.
That's a sequoia tree for an arm.
That's mad. Scary. See, if only Chris could, play linebacker with that size muscle, it'd be fine. But that's another debate.
These hamstrings don't go far.
So
well, neither Nate Gary. So.
These hamstrings don't. They have a lot of mileage on it.
But anyways, Eagles took down the Cowboys. I mean, not really the Eagles. I mean, they survived. The last team standing against the Cowboys. This team is atrocious at this point, but we are in first place and likely to head to the playoffs. I think we have like a 78% chance to make the playoffs at this point. How are you guys feeling right now? I mean, I know, LJ, you had a very detailed article about Carson Wentz and how to fix it. What's in the mind state of an Eagles fan right now?
I just think a lot of confusion for the most part, because it's like it all kind of like intertwines together. But you look at the trade deadline, and there was so much, I don't think hype, but almost it was the lifeline for fans to hold on to. Oh my God, don't worry, the trade deadline's coming. Like, don't worry about this loss or that loss or the 19 million turnovers. Like, because the deadline's here, and we're gonna get help, or we're gonna lift this contract and bring someone in. And none of it happened. And now it's like, now we really are here with this till the end of the year. So it's subjective. I think a lot of people view it differently. You've got some people that are very anti-Carson Wentz who are loving this right now, and they're striding around, swinging what they've got, trying to throw every bit of hate down. And I think then there's just the sheer frustrated fans who don't understand what or why is going on. And I think a lot of us, even as analysts, fall into that category, because on paper, this was supposed to be the magic team. And I don't want to say the dream team, but the same sort of level of, now they've fixed the offense. They've done this. They've got the lockdown cornerback. They've brought in Javon Hargrave. And we could talk, I know you wrote recently that we were talking about the free agents and how they've not really done anything this year so far, apart from Will Parks, who had a relatively nice game against Dallas. But there is just nothing positive outside of Travis Fulgham? And maybe Jason Kelce, Darius Slay, and those are three. I mean, Kelce you expect to perform at that level. Slay, if he didn't perform at that level, you would never hear the end of it. And Fulgham has been the brightest surprise of all. But it's just, I think, it's disheartening. It really is disheartening to go into that game against Dallas after so much hope with Pittsburgh, with Baltimore, see what I did against the Giants, think, if they can put up those kind of performances here, going against a 31st ranked, 2 picks, 2 fumbles, and then put up 23 points against that defense. And it's just, I just got no words. I've got to go back through this film twice. You guys are fine. You get to sit and do the podcast, and I've got to relive this. It's horrible.
And it's funny because the 23 points wasn't all the offense. I mean, defense.
No, I know.
That's the sad part. Chris has a mean mug look right now.
I'm listening. I'm just listening to you guys talk about the chaos.
And how you feeling about the chaos?
I'm not good. Not good. I mean, to me, they're getting healthy, which is great, but I wish they made a move today for someone. Because, we're just going to hear in his press conference, whenever it is. I know tomorrow they are coming in for practice, which is everybody's like, great, you're bringing them in for practice on the bye week. It's not like really they had a choice because they really can't go anywhere because of all the restrictions. So since they're there, instead of hanging out in their hotel room playing Xbox and Fortnite with Devontae Maddox and Dallas Goedert, or Modern Warfare, Darius Slay and everybody else, it's they're coming in for practice. I'm sure it's not going to be crazy, but we're going to hear from Doug Peterson, and it's going to be, we're happy with, we're getting some guys back healthy, and, it's going to be great. That's what we didn't feel like we needed to make a move, and blah 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 blah. He's going to have the same condescending tone in his press conference that he's had the last few weeks, and then we're gonna roll into the Giants next week and be like, "Hey, it's us again." Well, with Jalen Reagor and Dallas Goedert now,
but the same Giants that almost beat the Bucs last night,
right? Like it's not the Giants' defense that's an issue right now; it's their offense. Daniel Jones being absolutely terrible, but Leonard Williams was working it against the Bucs, and he was in Tom Brady's face all the time. And if we get a Jason Peters, Peters did pretty well, I guess, against the Dallas Cowboys. But if we get the Jason Peters that we've seen all year, not going to really do well. Yeah, right? It's just that this team needed depth in a lot of positions, especially linebacker. Maybe Evan Ingram has hands next time. And not stone hands, not Mr.
Well, he made the same catch against the Bucs, the same exact play.
And maybe he's not Mr. Balloon hands. And I say that because I hope that. Well, you probably didn't get the reference. I hope people that are watching get the reference to that. It's an old. I made my wife watch this video. It's like, I don't know if you remember, like back in like 2008, 2009, all those like E-Bombs World, Funny or Die videos that were coming out when we were in high school and college. They're coming out. It's called Drinking Out of Cups. You gotta look it up. It's. I made my wife watch it the other day. She didn't really think it was that funny.
It's rare I feel too old for something now, especially when it's on the internet. This is my one.
But E-Bombs World, Funny or Die was like our shit in college and high school. Like that was like the memes before memes came out, and it was funny. But it's like. Right now, out of all the teams, Washington seems like they are the strongest, and it sucks to say that because their defensive line is great. They're I think they're tops, and they were close to it in everything defensively. Like it's they've only allowed 2,164 yards, and that's second fewest in the whole league. They have 12 turnovers, which is second most. I mean, there's four people tied with 14. There's 3 people tied with 13, but then they have 12, so they were right after. And they've allowed the fewest passing yards this year. They've allowed 1,300 yards.
Well, yeah, they shut down Carson Wentz for a whole second half.
In 7 games, they've allowed 1,300 yards. That's less than 200 yards. So they're it's crazy. And they have Ronald Darby back there.
Oh, don't remind me. Don't. His name is. Oh, it's horrible. Oh, it just sends chills down my spine. It's like we've had Halloween. We don't need to do this.
Ronald Darby without dreads.
Is he lost the dreads?
Yeah, he cut it off.
Yeah, he cut it off in the summer or before.
The second he left, I disregarded his existence entirely. I'm sorry, I couldn't handle it anymore. But I just think with this Eagles team, like it's got to a point where I was thinking I could come on tonight and we could talk really specifically about Carson Wentz, Press Taylor, or the free agents or the line. And if you go through position by position, there is at least a complaint at each one. At least one, right? And we could, without reeling them off, quarterback, endless list. Let's not go there. Offensive line, endless list. Okay. Receivers, actually all right. People don't like John Hightower, and I'm accountable for his existence. Apparently,
If every
Wait,
year,
Punter's not. I mean, you don't frown out Cameron Johnston.
no, I would never. He's my little golden angel.
if every year we've put band-aids, quote unquote, in the wide receiver position, Travis Fulgham has to be like the band-aid of all band-aids. He has to be.
He's phenomenal,
Oh, yeah.
man.
He has to be like a surgically repaired position at that point. It's not even a band-aid. He is the guy.
The
Like,
guy is
it's-
doing something that only Terrell Owens did for the Eagles, and that speaks volumes.
He's
He's
If he
averaging over
had-
70 yards a game.
I put out today the receivers leaders under Doug Peterson in his 5 years. And if he averages 88 yards a game from here to the rest of the season, he will pass Jordan Matthews for third most receiving yards under Doug Peterson. And that's not in a season. That's within the 5 years that Doug
I
Peterson
saw
has
who's
been
second
coach.
on that list. Do you want to say who's second on that list?
Las Vegas is the Las Vegas Strip's new member.
Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah.
But
But
Liam-
it's crazy what he's been doing, man.
So you brought up a good point. Let's talk about Carson Wentz. Let's talk about Press Taylor because a lot of people have been ranting that
Do we
you
have
can't. I mean, it's the most important position on the team that's that's causing a lot of issues right now.
The thing is that I really don't like with Carson Wentz is the fact that it's polarizing because it shouldn't be.
Mhm.
Like, call a spade, he's playing terribly. Like, there's no denying that.
Yeah.
And I said this in the article earlier today, like, even in the games he's been good, he was still bad. Like, there was no way around it. That, again, in any other game would have been bang average. But in comparison to the train wrecks of weeks before, because he didn't turn the ball over 9 times against Pittsburgh and ran a little bit and kept the team in it, it's like, oh my God, he's back. King Carson, we love it. Oh, he made a throw to Boston Scott and my heart. But then the rest of it, like, it's just bizarre. And it's like, you can criticize him without, like, hating on him. Like, being critical of your quarterback shouldn't be seen as some taboo subject. And I
not a
think
bad
that's
thing.
where the Eagles might be almost getting a bit conflicted here, because you can see every week Doug Peterson and Carson say the same thing. Got to clean that up. Got to be better. We can't turn the ball over. Can't be doing that. Got to be better. And the thing I got from the press conference after the game was someone was like, oh, what did you say to Carson on the sideline after the second pick to Diggs? And he was like, oh, I told him you can't do that. And it's like, right, if you get a dog, right, and you buy it from, I don't know, some random person, had it for 5 years, whatever, like, you just can't look after it anymore, and it randomly starts, like, pooing all over your house, and you just say, don't do that, and then nothing, you just clean it up, just go, don't, and then it doesn't understand what the word don't means, it's just going to carry on. And it's like, with Carson Wentz, if you go, you can't do that, he knows that, but there's no proactive,
There's no
okay,
discipline.
well, don't do that, the safety's here, X, Y, and Z. Just, there is no progression from week 1 to now. You see flashes of, oh, he's moving around and he's got this sixth sense of where people are to get out of the pocket and make plays. That's just Carson Wentz. That's not an improvement on his game. He's just getting very lucky that someone like Travis Fulgham can pluck a skyward ball out of the sunset. Like, there is no actual development there. And you can be critical of mechanics. You can be critical of decision-making. Like, a lot of people on that second fumble defaulted to, oh, that was the offensive line because it was a blitz. Like, no. Like, that Carson Wentz should have got rid of that ball. Like, that was a terrible read. Like, and it's just the coaching staff have to do something. And if they realise that Press Taylor isn't it, do something about it. I don't care if you brought the Philly special to Philadelphia or put it in the mind of Doug Peterson or whatever. Right now, you're the reason Philly isn't special. And Carson Wentz is struggling and regressing. And you've got then the wild conspiracists to think, oh, is it because he's a dad and he's taken a lot of hits and it could be an Andrew Luck scenario? Like, we don't know. But it just feels this isn't Carson Wentz. And it's a coach's job when you've got a player that's struggling, or as Chris notes, as a teacher, if you had an A+ pupil and then he's suddenly down to a D and you don't get him back up, is that the kid's fault? Or the teacher's got to take some responsibility as well for raising him up, right?
It depends who you ask. It depends. Some parents will blame the kid, saying, hey, you're an asshole, let's go pick it up. And some parents may blame the teacher, but like, hey, you're not good enough. So I think right now it's
50-50. You can't have one without the other, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there has got to be some element of the coaching staff doing something more than going, Carson, don't do that. Don't give them the ball, because that doesn't help anyone. And I think we just need to be aware that Carson, like, if you read Carson Wentz's stats across the board, I know Chris is way more into stats than me. He likes to code the matrix. He's like 31st in most rank, like 31st, 27th, other than like attempted air yards, because he's just constantly saying, fuck it.
He's just chucking it.
He's just like aimlessly yeeting it and hoping for the best. Everywhere else, dreadful. If that was Sam Bradford, if it was Sam Bradford in 2015 doing what Carson Wentz is doing now, would he have been benched?
Oh, hell yeah!
Right, Mark Sanchez.
Hell yeah!
Right, but because it's Carson Wentz, it's like, oh well, we can't touch him because we've made him $128 million man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I feel like there's a difference here in regards to the contract.
Yeah,
like
no, but that's the thing.
Sanchez, like, they didn't have that, so they have to, like, I guess Howie, like, they kind of need to save face with this, like, hey, we just gave this guy $125 million last year. We're not going to bench him 8 games into the season.
But you drafted a quarterback in the second round.
Then, even though we just drafted a quarterback, that kind of contradicts the contract that we did. But hey, we still gave that contract, so we're not. It's a big clusterfuck.
If the Nova complex is on fire right now, who's really to blame? I mean, Peterson, he's to me completely checked out this season. When he talks to people, it's the worst side of Doug Peterson I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it's bad.
His play calling is terrible. And then the fact that he said that Carson and his buddy Prez sit down together to come up with the game plan and the plays, and he just calls it, just sounds terrible. Like this whole organization right now just sounds completely terrible. And then,
it's the equivalent of literally me being like, all right, well, Bryan and Chris are going to run the entire Eagles section. I won't read anything. I'm just going to hit publish.
All right, see ya.
That's it. I'm just going to go, all right, there you go, publish. And someone's gone, oh my God, why has Chris written an article about saying Carson Wentz should be traded to Denver for a bag of chips? And I'll be like, oh no, ask Chris. And like, that's the energy that Peterson.
It's so wild.
It's bizarre. It's so passive aggressive as well. Like and it never used to be. There was a little bit of sass there, always. Like there's always, especially after a loss. But now going out to like reporters and saying, oh well, you said I'll be out of a job after this game or something like that the other week, and I was like, dude, like, what are you doing? Relax. I don't know.
He just sounds completely miserable. Like the guy sounds like he just doesn't want to be there.
Do you not think that's the key word, though? Like, sorry to interject and jump over you, but the word miserable. Like, and I know you've got the occasional celebration from the defense, but if you're going to sum up Zach Ertz, Carson Wentz, Doug Peterson, it's miserable. They're dejected. Like, all of them just look like, oh, I can't be arsed. Like, it's really sad.
They all look like they weren't prepared to have a football season.
I feel like they were all part of a sitcom together, and they were signed up for another season that they didn't think should have happened. Like the season finale, like the season finale should have been last season, a series finale, and now the directors are like, no, let's keep this thing rolling, guys. Let's keep this thing rolling, and then the actors are like,
does this feel like the final episode of Game of Thrones?
The story is bland. Like different writers this year. Like the offense has different writers and all this stuff. Like it's like the showrunners now. We have Rich Cangarello, and we have Marty Mornwig. We have all these different screenwriters now for the showrunners now for the Eagles offense. And on the Eagles offense, the story, the plot is shit. Right?
And they have a whole panel of all these elite creative minds, and this is probably the most overdoing offense I've ever seen in my life. Like they don't simplify the offense for the young guys, for the receivers. They don't simplify the offense for the runners, and they don't simplify the offense for Carson. And that could be on Carson's fault as well, because he's audibly at the line. So it's just terrible all around.
Do you not think that was a really great analogy then by Chris, but that Doug Peterson has become Daenerys in the final season of Game of Thrones? And sorry if you haven't seen the final season of Game of Thrones.
If you haven't seen it yet, come on.
But
but I'm a 90. You've got to really lovable character. Everyone loves us. Oh, so
All right,
Timothy
okay,
goes
okay.
against
Wait,
us.
so does that make Carson John?
That's what I'm going to say right now.
Oh,
If
no.
if we're doing Game of Thrones references right now, then
Okay.
it's okay if we go off on this tangent because that's just our show, and that's especially when Liam's on our show. Who's Daenerys? Doug Peterson?
I would say, yeah, because he's just gone to like the last season. You're just like, what's the point in that? He was fine. Like,
Who's Cersei? Jen Shorts?
No, I don't think Howie.
Yeah, I would agree. I would agree.
Hands down.
I'm saying Jim Schwartz because Daenerys says she's heir to the throne,
Okay.
and Jim Schwartz maybe has some say to the power.
I would still say Howie because Howie's kind of like, I'm the reason for 2017, and Doug's like, no, I'm the reason for 2017.
Howie still sits in that castle looking down as it burns. That's the thing, right? Like, final season, Daenerys storms in and starts saying, everything's on fire, buddy, this guy and that guy. Howie's just stood in his tower, not trading anyone, sipping, waiting to go and have a little kiss with, I don't know, Jeffrey Lurie in the cellar.
Does that make Alshon Jeffrey Jamie Lannister in the beginning of the series?
Oh my God. This is getting so warm, man.
No. Alshon Jeffrey is definitely like Varys. Well, he just
Oh my
really matter.
God.
He's just there, and he's just escaping towards the end, and he's just.
Wait, so then who's Jeffrey Lurie? Is he just
Tywin? Tywin, he just didn't die. He just didn't die yet.
So he would be Tyrion then.
it's
He's
so
trying
fitting.
to.
Tyrion. I would say Jim Schwartz then. The smartest guy.
Oh my God, no, that makes sense.
He's definitely, the most shows no emotion ever. And he's just there. He's just like, I just drink and I know things. That's what I do. I'm gonna put number 47 right in the middle over Chase Claypool. It's definitely going to work.
Who's John's the kid, the guy's name, Jon Snow's friend?
Oh.
The big boy.
The one that first killed the White Walker.
Sam, yeah.
So Sam is Deuce Staley.
Is that a fat joke?
I think Carson Wentz would be
a
Bran.
fat joke.
Carson Wentz would be
I think
Bran.
he just called Deuce Staley fat.
Who's Deuce Staley fat?
He's going to listen to this, and he's not going to come on your podcast now. I hate that.
I'm sorry, Deuce, but I did not call him fat. I'm just saying, like, Deuce is like the smart. To me, it's probably the smartest guy in the room right now.
Because he coaches running backs, and Sam was always running back to his. So, yeah.
Sam was always hiding behind the rocks, like with a knife, like I'm gonna get you, and that's Deuce Staley.
Carson Wentz is 100% Bran. Like, started out a main character, and then his leg break, and I was being carted around, and no one knows what he's doing, and then will just appear at the end of the show and go, "I'm king."
John is the heir to the throne.
Mm.
He's Travis Fulgham.
Okay, all right, that's a big send. Okay, I like it.
Killing Doug Peterson, there's no climax to it. It has to be Carson.
Why does it have to be Carson?
Because he gets
Carson
afterwards.
if Carson's Bran, he becomes king. So if Carson outlasts Doug Peterson, he's really king. So Travis Fulgham's just like, hey, let me get this guy out of here, or girl, or to get out of here to make sure that my king becomes my king. And because their connection is, they're like brothers, like John and Bran.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And so
this is going to need a whole article, now. This is like a whole full-on, like, intertwined tree.
Look, you mentioned before that, Chris is, his repertoire is a trade. Now you got the Game of Thrones analogy.
I really think the intro to this podcast needs to be the Game of Thrones.
Can I do that?
Song.
Can we all sing it in harmony, and then we can, like, add the recording?
I don't want to get hit with a copyright lawsuit afterwards. And Liam texted me at 1 a.m.
Brian's confident the cover's going to be that good that we're going to get copyrighted, that we are that immaculate.
Brian comes in like, and Liam goes,
I knew that was coming!
So now that we agree that the Eagles are the final season of Game of Thrones.
Who is number 47?
Oh,
there's got to be somebody that serves no.
Oh no, the curly hair man sausage.
Theon Greyjoy.
Yeah. No. The other one, the naughty one.
Oh my God, I know who you're
I
talking
can see his face, and he's like,
He got mauled
"Come
by
on, Theo."
Sansa killed him with his dogs.
Yeah, the one that was with Sanders.
Oh,
Proper
I
dickhead.
hated that guy. That guy was so freaking annoying.
Exactly.
Damn.
Well,
Exactly.
we'll just call him Nate
Ramsey,
for now.
Ramsey Bolton.
Was it Ramsey Bolton?
That's the one.
Yes, Ramsey Bolton. So 47 is Ramsey. Who's
Theon Greyjoy?
Who's Theon? Yeah.
Who's lost his dick, Doug? Oh, no!
That came out too natural. That came out so natural. Oh, wait. It doesn't even feel like a podcast over. Hold on, time out. That came out way too natural for it to not be Doug now.
It came out, and I watched it come out.
Doug?
I watched it come out. I tried to stop it. I was like, no.
That's gonna be the name of the podcast. Who lost his dick?
Who lost their dick?
Doug.
Doug.
Okay.
Wow, where do we go from here? I have no idea. Like
Theon, maybe he was Mike Rowe.
Ooh.
He was entrusted by Doug Peterson. Well, actually, he's the name.
No, it's still Doug. It just fits Doug. I mean, Doug said Mike Rowe had a job, and the next day Mike Rowe didn't have a job.
No, Dick Doug.
No Dick Doug. That's what we're gonna do. So we have Big Dick Foles and no Dick Doug.
Oh my God, what have we started?
This is terrible. Wow.
I just realised though, Jason Peters can be that old witch that just like super mega old that wears the necklace.
Or Hodor.
Oh, I know, either or.
Is Hodor Jordan Mailata? Oh no, he has to be Jason Peters because Jason Peters is kind of dead now. Yeah. So Hodor was holding the door and then he died, and Jason Peters is holding the door for Jordan Mailata.
You know who Jordan Mailata is? The redhead guy from the wall.
Oh,
that's Jordan Mailata.
Oh yeah.
What, the ginger one?
The ginger, yeah. Can you say ginger one more time, Liam?
What's he called? I don't know. I want to say Thor, but it's not Thor.
It's definitely not Thor.
Tormund.
Tormund. That's him.
Wait, his name is Tormund?
Tormund.
Oh, Tormund.
Tormund would be a hell of a name.
M-U-N-D.
Yeah, right.
But so who's Brienne of Tarth?
I would think that.
Who's Arya? Boston Scott?
No, Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I'd say Miles Sanders.
But I would think Brianna is Travis.
No, he's Jon Snow. He's a Lord of Light. He's the Lord of Light.
Or can Jon Snow be actually Jeffrey Lurie when he actually
Azor Ahai? He's Azor Ahai. He came he's the Lord of Light. He was our savior.
And he was disbanded to the wall. Detroit didn't want him. They kicked him to the Night's Watch.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
See, we're doing this is a whole
this is turning into a whole damn podcast.
This turned from shit. The Eagles did nothing at the trade deadline to who are the Eagles in Game of Thrones.
Well, we're doing more than the Eagles have done all season, so I mean, I'm pretty sure they're actually enjoying this.
So Arya's who's Sansa?
Oh, it's got to be somebody that's just
people like Darius Slay. I could see.
Wait, who's Slay?
Speaking of Sansa, Darius Slay Sansa. He said, "Who's Littlefinger?"
Alshon Jeffrey.
Jalen Mills, because he's a dick. Sorry.
Jalen Mills with his Littlefinger.
Jalen Mills, he's just doing that all the time. Does he do this in real life though? I said this in This Week in Philadelphia Sports. If he goes into a grocery store and he sees like the last bagel, does he just go and stop doing all this like flexing shit, or does he like? It's too much. It's too extra. Like chill.
The cashier says, "Is it cash or debit?"
And he just like wait.
Jalen Mills is that guy who's driving and he sees the yellow light, and he sees a guy behind him trying to get to the yellow light, so he slows down just enough that he goes through the yellow light, but the guy behind him gets stuck at the red light, and he opens his window and he goes like this out the window, saying, "Nope."
That's a personal experience, isn't it? You've had that happen to you.
I do that all the time.
Why is you doing it?
I do that. If someone's tailgating me so hard, I will slow down when I see the yellow light. I'm like, oh, I guess I got to slow down at this yellow light. I guess you're not going to get it. Just kidding. I got it. And you're stuck at the red light, motherfucker. I just don't do the Jalen Mills
That is terrible. Are we missing
What?
anybody else?
What?
Who's Jamie Lannister?
Who's lost a hand? Jason Pierre-Paul.
He's not an eagle.
Oh,
You would Fletcher Cox be?
a White Walker. I don't know. Fucking...
A White Walker.
Who's the Night King?
Oh. That's got to be
Alshon Deshaun.
all three of them. Just like what were they called when they had Olshon and Deshaun Jackson and Aguilar together?
DNA.
yeah.
DNA. It was DNA, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Night King. DNA.
Okay, the Nightwalkers. There we go.
They're the reason. Well, two of them are the reason for the destruction of the salary cap next year. So it's so.
Who's Zach Ertz?
Oh.
I reckon the big troll that dies. You know, the one where he's like, there's that scene where John runs in the gate and just stares at him all sad. And he's like, no. And the troll.
one that becomes a White Walker, and then he comes
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a big giant, right?
So Zach. So it's It was like the same name twice. It was like
Bud or something.
it was like
but oh god, this can't be real.
It was something like that, wasn't it?
1-1.
What?
I mean, it was close.
1-1. WUN 1-1.
I like that.
Wow. I don't know where to go from here. I mean, so we've related all these.
Who's
we gotta figure out who Fletcher Cox is and Brandon Graham.
Who's the Mountain?
Oh, and you have the other guy, the dog
the
guy.
Hound.
The Hound, yes. So Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham is the Hound. Fletcher Cox the Mountain. I mean, Brandon Graham is balling out.
I'd probably give the Mountain to Brandon Graham right now because the Mountain was more indestructible than the Hound was.
Yeah, but the Hound won at the end.
Yeah,
Which was the nicer one? Which was the one that was just like an emotionless monster?
The Hound.
The Mountain was the emotionless monster.
Oh, okay.
The Mountain was the one who died, and then he was brought back to life, and he was like a zombie. So
That's Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
He's been dead for years.
it can't be Fletcher Cox because he's kind of still dead.
Have you looked at his numbers? It has to be Fletcher Cox.
Oh, he's kind of still dead. He wasn't brought back to life now. So Brandon Graham was kind of, falling off, and now all of a sudden he's back. You know?
That makes a lot of sense for his career, yeah. Okay.
Oh, who would be? Oh, I know who Rob Stark is. Sam Bradford. Just unnecessarily killed for no reason, right? He was having a whale of a time, balling out, had a 7-game stint of dreams, goes to a wedding, signs a new contract, and then the Luries send their regards and he gets stabbed.
Can we admire 1 second real quick? Rob Stark's wife was freaking beautiful in the show.
Oh, she was a doctor.
I'm gonna go talk to Crystal after this.
She's in the next room. She hears me.
So you're looking at other women, huh?
I look at you all day, girl.
There are so many levels to this podcast. I really don't know where we're at right now.
Wait, can we ask Liam who the hell is behind you? He's been distracting me for the whole podcast.
I forgot. See, this is why you need PSN happy hours. Basically, it's just some golf YouTuber called Rick Shields, and I just put him on there for no reason.
He looks like the British guy that's a comedian. That's on like all these funny movies. Ricky
Gervais?
Yes. Is that his name?
Really?
He's kind of like heavy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say fat no more because Chris gets.
You're being mean to Shieldsy now. He's lovely. Look at that little beard. Look, he's lovely.
He looks like him.
I'm in my golf stuff today. I look very.
You look very businessy today.
I do. I feel like again. It was your comment the other day in the chat when you were like, LJ's aged 5 years in quarantine, and I like looked at it after waking up. And I was like, is that good or bad? I was like, have I just hit puberty now at age 25? Have we done it?
I've seen you growing up with my very eyes.
I know. I'll be getting wrinkles soon. It's just my hair's gonna start falling out. It's not good.
Okay, you ain't gotta push it that far, okay? I know. I know I'm bald, okay?
No, but then if I could be bald, and then you guys are bald, and then we can all make a logo together, and we could just be fine.
I like how people consider Chris to be bald, even though he has a nice shape up and a nice hairline still.
It's beautiful, Chris.
Thank you. Anyways, who's Lady Olenna?
Who the hell's that? Is that the redhead lady?
The old lady who killed Joffrey.
Oh,
Who's Joffrey?
Joffrey's definitely Nelson Aguilar.
No, surely that'd be old Sean, wouldn't it? Or someone? No, I
would
reckon
think
Lady
so.
Olenna could be old Sean. Very poisonous, isn't she?
That fits. Who's Jalen Rager?
Rhaegar Targaryen.
He's his own. He's his own character.
Who's Ned Stark?
Jeffrey Lurie.
Clayton? No. In it for about 10 minutes, gone.
Clayton Thorson is that extra that just got killed in the background. The first.
No, he's Ed Sheeran. He's Ed Sheeran's character that came in it for like a week for no reason.
It's just like they needed all these extras for the battle scene. And the Clayton Thorson was in there somewhere.
You can, if you scroll really hard, you can find him just sort of vibing. Do you know what's annoying me though? The fact that we were one roster move away from the Cowboys having Clayton Thorson start against the Eagles last week, and my life would have been complete, actually complete. Like I couldn't think of a better scenario.
Where is Clayton? Is he still in Dallas?
No, he's with the Giants.
He's on the Giants.
Oh, good lord!
That's what I mean.
He's slipping around with all the NFCs.
Would it not be just so poetic to come against the Eagles as a starter and then ruin it?
It would be great for your brand.
I'd have been thriving. I'd have had the time of my life.
What would you have done if he started for the Cowboys last week? Like you would have been in a.
He would have opened up that jacket right there. Pull out the Clayton Thorson jersey.
I couldn't root for him, obviously, but there would be a part of me that wants to maybe break down a subtle Eagles film. I'd have to get the song out, like every time he does something, good or bad, because it's just the way it goes. You know, he's an integral part of PSN now. Without even I don't even think he knows we exist, but you know, we have propelled him to stardom, really.
Oh, who's T.J. Edwards and Alex Singleton?
Singleton would be.
No.
Singleton would be Grey Worm.
Oh, okay.
And Edwards would be Dario. Is it Dario?
Yeah, Dario.
Who's Dario?
Yeah. So the first one that she
He's
pined
the
off.
one who was like having sex with Daenerys and.
Oh, that's the guy that they changed from one season to
They
the other.
changed actors. Yeah.
That was terrible.
Who is oh my god, who's the guy that wanted Daenerys so bad?
The old guy?
And
Everyone in the universe.
no,
Yeah,
he kept
literally everybody.
He kept getting friend zoned all the time.
Oh, Captain Friendzone.
Yeah.
What was it? Oh, Jorah Mormont.
Jorah Mormont.
So who be Jorah?
Who keeps getting friend zoned on the Eagles? It's not Fletcher Cox.
It's not Fletcher Cox. I would say I'll take a Whiteside.
It's fitting. It's very fitting, honestly. You
He
can't
keeps
deny
getting
it.
friend zoned from
and it's just
the
getting
offense.
nowhere.
He can like Jorah, like J. Joe keeps saying like, I can do this, I can do that, and
Does J. Joe
Doug
serve
is
a
just
purpose on
Doug's
his
just
roster
like
anymore?
go block down the field, just go.
Do you know what's even more fitting about that as well? Is that Jorah halfway through had a stone hand, and
Yeah.
levels.
There's levels to this. Wow. I'm not gonna lie. I'm having a good time not talking about Eagles, but talking
We
about
should
the
do this
Eagles.
more often. This is the
We
non-Eagles
should.
Eagles podcast.
Like an episode of Seinfeld.
But you know what the Game of Thrones characters definitely needed,
A dick, according to Liam.
but probably not Theon, is a Manscaped subscription.
Oh,
They definitely need because those guys, especially the Dothrakis, they were just using knives and they were just going down there with swords and shit. They definitely needed the Manscaped, the Lawnmower 3.0 to help them out back there because it gets hot in the desert, and you need to be bare down there, so it doesn't get all like sticky. So make sure you're taking care of yourself. I know with the colder months coming out, you might want to like bundle up down there. Yeah, you might want to bundle up down there, keep yourself warm, but that's not the way to go. Just use a jacket, like Michael Jacket, how he did great on Sunday in like 5 snaps. But
and injured, which is reminiscent of when you don't use a Manscaped.
Exactly. Michael Jacket getting hurt so soon is like when you zip up your fly and you didn't really use Manscaped and then it just gets caught. So don't do that. Don't do that. Go to manscaped.com, use FCB at checkout, 20% off free shipping. Manscaped.com. Tell them we sent you. They will say who, but just still tell them who that we sent you.
I tell you what, since you guys have flooded my podcast with Manscaped promotions, the only adverts I ever get are for Manscaped. And I'll be watching, like, I'll be falling asleep watching something at like 4 a.m. And like, I'll just be woken up to this guy in a Manscaped shirt shouting, "Hey, oh my God, my butt." And I'm like, I'm going to sleep. And it's happened like 3 times in the last week, right? It's just this new Manscaped advert with like Gronkowski in it. And he's lying on the floor. And there's someone like with a lawnmower. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen that one. Wow.
Oh, I woke up to that. Like Gronk's lying there shouting, and this guy's got a lawnmower up to his head. And then the wife comes out and goes, "No, use this." And it's
just a long. Wow, that's very cheesy. That is something we will come up with as a group.
I mean, after tonight, if we ever had to like, I genuinely debated at one point like branching out into marketing for other companies to be like, "Oh, we can help with social media or adverts or whatever." Like, could you imagine, like, all right, guys, so we've got to make a 30-second spot for this company. I don't know, they're a watering can company, and they gave us 3 the task of making the TV spot. It would be so tragically beautiful that I need that content. So I might actually have to do that. I just branch out and see if we can get on board because I need that in my life now.
That might be bad idea for them.
It'll be fun though. I mean, it had some fun to quarantine.
So before we wrap up the podcast, you were gonna say something, Chris? Or are you just blowing wind at me?
Who's Khal Drogo?
Oh, I would say
John Hightower.
No, the Hightower's too flimsy for that. Drogo's a big boy.
It has to be Jordan Mailata.
I thought Jordan was Brianna or whatever her name is.
Brianna Tarth.
Brianna's hard.
No, he's Khal Drogo. He is though. I mean, Khal Drogo dies, but
well, he did.
Spoiler alert.
They put him at right tackle.
Or is there a character that just didn't show up for a while and people were like, "Look how great he is now"? Because that's Jordan Mailata. Bron, because Bron came in later in the seasons and was like the man, towards the end.
Can we admire how brilliant Game of Thrones is actually put together? Like, one episode would be like their favorite character. The next episode will be a character you don't care about, but you still care about the episode. And then that main character is not in that episode, but 2 episodes later, they're back. And you still love the show.
It was great, man. I think, you know what's weird as well? Like, I feel like Game of Thrones is, every guy's got that one girl, right? And we're not, I'm just saying.
It wouldn't be a podcast without.
And I know, right? But, like, that you always compare it to, like, anything I watch now, if I'm not interested in the first 10 minutes, I'm like, it doesn't grip me like Game of Thrones gripped me. It's like, it's not the same. So, like, I watched Prison Break, and I've never been more, I finished the first 2 seasons, and I hated it. Like,
yeah, I quit after 2 seasons.
So many little plot holes. And, like, it was grinding on me so much. And they were like, yeah, but just forget about them. Like, that's not the point. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't. And then Michael just does this. He has one facial expression for 2 seasons, which is 2 seasons of it. No matter, like, someone dies, his toe gets cut off, like, whatever happens, it's just, yeah, gotta get. I can't do it. It's just not for me. So, there you go. Game of Thrones is everyone's ultimate true love. And Prison Break is just the rebound that isn't very good. So if you haven't watched Prison Break, don't do it. If you haven't watched it...
I don't want to do that.
It's not really... I was a fan of it.
No.
You were? I'm so glad I'm not alone on that because I thought I would get shouted at.
No, my wife and I tried it and then we quit after like 2 or 3 seasons because it becomes very repetitive.
Well, I said to my mum was like, no, you've got to stick with it past season 2. And I was like... Right, they've just got out of prison and gone into another one. How many seasons are there? She was like 4 or 5. And I was like, there are only so many prisons they can break out of. Okay, before it starts losing meaning a bit. Oh, we're back here again. Oh, not again. It's like,
they should come to season 6, see if they break out of 2020.
My wife and I are on season 5 of Blacklist.
How's that?
Oh,
That's great. People like when I first put it on Twitter that we started watching it in season 1. People were like, "It's great. It's an awesome show." But like after season 4, it's kind of like season 4 starts getting repetitive and all that. It kind of does, but it's still really, really good show. It has James Spader. James Spader is an incredible actor.
I hate his voice though, more than anything in the world.
Your voice sucks too. So
Listen, but you listen to it every Tuesday night.
I'm forced to.
You love it. Say you love it.
I have no choice. It's my job. It's
not your job.
It's my job. I mean, I kind of don't get paid for it. Wink.
I think you both got very distinct voices for what it's worth. I mean, you could have mine. I mean, like, I genuinely feel as though that there's like, we are all, like, me and Brian were saying before, like, we're pretty sure we're convinced we're living in a simulation because this year has just been ridiculous, right?
It's been terrible, yeah.
I feel like if I'm a Sims character and someone's got like a puberty slider, they've just forgot to tick it. Like, they're not even bothered. And I'm just stuck here. Like, there's that summer at school when everyone comes in and they're like, all right, Liam. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, that'll be me next year. That'll be me. I'm coming. 2010, I'm coming at you. Deep voice Liam. And then 10 years later, it's still, oh, yeah. And I can't shake it. So
it's funny. The moment I put on any of your videos, my wife is like, is that Liam? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh, my God, his voice.
it's grating. It's grating. It's really, I don't envy people who have to listen to it.
So before we let Liam go, because I know you're pressed for time, it's 9 o'clock.
That's okay, man. You're good.
Expectations for the rest of the season. I know we'll get first place most likely, but I'm not confident.
I think, do you know what? I think there is such an element of shithousery to this team where I feel like
a word that I've seen before.
Shithousery is my favourite word, okay? And I'll try and teach this to everyone through Twitter, but it's apparently it's an English thing. I thought Americans had it, but it's basically a word used where it's like a little bit unsportsmanlike, a little bit like refs cheating or a blown call or something that you shouldn't win, but you win, right? It's like shithousing something. So, for instance, you know, the Eagles, if they were to go out, if they beat the Steelers, they would have shithoused the win because they shouldn't have done it. But there is such an element where even that Dallas game with the fumble and then them yeeting a ball back into their own end zone to do an onside kick, which didn't work. Like, there is such an element of like, this shouldn't be working, but somehow it is, that I feel that all it takes is once you get to the big dance, like anything can happen, right? So get to the playoffs, first round win, I'd call it now, of just like an absolute like double doink level shithousery moment that, and after that we can have the heartbreak and I'll get absolutely blown out by whoever they play, but we can have the win, we can have the first round win, and it'll be fine.
What about you, Chris?
What's the question?
Expectations for the rest of the sitcom?
Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with this presidential race.
Yeah, I'm watching it on my
phone. So the rest of the season starts Sunday, even though we're to bye.
Okay.
Cowboys have the Steelers, and
that's definitely not L.
And Dalton is not playing again because he has COVID. This guy can't catch a break. Ben DiNucci's probably taking his last snap in the NFL against the Eagles.
Can you believe that he said this NFL thing is hard?
I mean, Jerry Jones kind of put the nail in his coffin with his comments today. DiNucci, he just sounds like an Italian deli.
Wait, what did Jerry Jones say today?
He kind of just said, yeah, he sucked.
Oh, wow.
Like in so many words, he was like, it looked like it was more than he can handle, like something like that. And like, why do you say that publicly? we kind of were, we were shit out of luck there with DiNucci on Sunday. We were kind of forced because he didn't do well. Like it's like people keep saying it sounds like an Italian restaurant. Like DiNucci just sounds like a deli. Like hey,
you named him something different.
Okay? Hey, I'm going down to DiNucci's. You want bagel? Oh, like
Jalen Mills goes in to get that bagel and goes.
You want cream cheese?
Ordering Subway, like, so do you want salad?
Would you like chips with that?
You think number 47 scoops out his bagel so he doesn't get all the carbs?
He looks like the type.
He definitely goes up and like, hey, let me get a whole wheat bagel, but scoop it out. Scoop it out.
He looks like the type that talks in third person a lot. Nick Gary wouldn't do that.
I'm the
I'm
white
Nick Gary,
snake.
and I approve this message.
I'm the white snake.
Thing is, that really annoyed me because they were such a great band. I don't know if you've heard. Have you heard of them? Whitesnake?
Yes.
Oh, I
Yeah,
never heard of him.
brilliant band. Amazing band from what, the 80s-ish, probably? That is a very classy glass, Brian, I gotta say. I like that.
It's very. It makes the IPAs taste a lot better. I'm not gonna lie. It's very weird, but makes it taste a lot better.
But I will say, so Steelers are going to kick the Cowboys. They're going to.
Can you stop swinging that bottle at me?
They're going to kick the shit out of the Cowboys. But we do have interdivisional again. Giants, Redskins, Washington. So I think we all agree that we are rooting for the Giants in that game because the Washington team are right behind us. They're 2-5. We're 3-4-1, but we don't want them to have the same amount of wins as us. So go Giants.
Well, that tie is gonna come in handy at the end of the season.
That is, and then the week after that, it's the Eagles got Giants, then they got the Browns, and then they have a really, really bad stretch of games.
It's not really, really bad. Have you seen the Packers Saints?
Aaron Rodgers is going to rip the shit out of this defense.
But he doesn't have a defense
I'm more confident in beating Breeze now because Breeze's arm is like out of an antique shop. But Aaron Rodgers is going to stick it in the Eagles defense.
I'm not confident in that.
That
I'm
would
really
be a shithouse. That would be a shithouse moment. I'm with Brian. I could feel like there would be an element of it's a game the Eagles shouldn't win, but do it anyway. And then
Devontae Adams had 180 yards last year before leaving with an injury.
I know.
But the Eagles still won. I mean,
and that was
the last two matchups.
They still won because Devontae Adams was dead on the sideline with turf toe.
But we got Darius Slay.
Oh, okay, he's fine. That's still.
I'm
okay,
sorry, this is not flipping the
Yeah,
Packers, okay? Fix yourself.
I get it, but I'm just trying to be realistic in the fact that Aaron Rodgers, who's probably going to come second in MVP this year to Russell Wilson, who we get after the Saints.
I feel like there should be no second in MVP. Like, it's just like, Russell Wilson to die.
It's like they're facing two MVP candidates in the next few weeks, in Rodgers and Wilson. And there's absolutely no way they're beating the Seahawks this year. I have zero confidence.
No, absolutely not.
So like Russell Wilson is going to throw for 400 and probably run for 300, and it's just gonna be the Russell Wilson show. But it's Aaron Rodgers. I'm confident that he's going to throw for like 350, 400 on the Eagles. He's just gonna rip us apart.
Listen, Tom Brady threw for 500 yards and we still won the Super Bowl.
Great.
Without Darius Slay, it was
Great.
Ronald Darby.
Great. But I think
and Corey Graham.
I miss Corey Graham's face.
No, you don't. Stop that.
It's just that one picture where like Chris is doing it so perfectly. It's just that, like, I miss it so much. He'd be perfect for this team. I don't know why they brought him Bob. Why didn't they bring him back? He would have been perfect for this team.
It's just he has the reaction for everything in 2020. Like his face is the reaction to everything that's going on. Like this year, it's just like you read the news and it's just like.
Do you know who I really miss on a level before we wrap it up? Is Walter Thurman. Like, I'm so heartbroken. The fact that he randomly dipped from the NFL and then started playing baseball.
He was so good.
I know, he was incredible.
Walter Thurman, he was so good.
He was amazing.
He was like, it's not even like we're trying to like overhype how good he was. He was one of the few.
You sound way too enthusiastic about this.
He was really good. He was one of the few Chip Kelly moves that were really good. Like his 2015 season.
You know you're glowing right now, right?
I loved Walter Thurman. He was like one of my favorite players that year. He was one of my favorite players. That was his last year in the league, 2015.
Yeah.
It was his only year. He played all 16 games and started all 16 games.
He was a cornerback turned safety, right?
Yeah, he had 3 interceptions, 7 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, fumble recovery, 4 touchdown with 71 tackles. He had a great year that year. And then
poof.
Poof.
Him and Ryan Matthews rode into the sunset.
It was just the baseball thing for me where he got caught playing under a fake. Wasn't it called like Dick something?
What is up with you in that word today?
No, dude, I'm serious. Wait, let me Google this really quick.
Liam has said
If I Google Walter Thurman Dick,
Dick.
something's gonna come up. But Dick Mahoney, I was right. I was right.
Wait, he played baseball under the name Dick Mahoney?
He retired from the NFL, and a year later, he got caught in the Center City Softball League called Dick Mahoney.
Playing softball?
Yeah, he genuinely changed his name so he wanted to be recognized and called himself Dick Mahoney and started playing softball.
Do you think he's turned into Patrick Mahomes now?
Hey, Liam, check your Twitter.
Oh no.
Oh,
Well, that's
God.
at the minute I'm just being shouted at for not streaming. If I Google Walter Thurman Dick,
No Dick Doug. That's the next one.
No Dick Doug.
we might need to clip that. You know, like that might be the highest.
That might be my advertisement click. I'm not gonna lie. I'm definitely gonna use that as a preview for the pod. Oh man. So Chris, what's your expectations for the rest of the sitcom? We never got through it.
I mean, we're in for a finale that we want to be rewritten. Like, I feel like everything that's coming up this year with this final season, maybe it's like we're probably going to want this rewritten. We're going to be very angry at all the showrunners. Like, hey, 2020 sucked. Let's do it over. And they're gonna be like, no, it's what you get. And now it's gonna be gone. It's like we're in for probably a division win. I'm not very confident in, but probably a division win, and then just a shit kicking in the playoffs. And it's just gonna be like, wow, this story was very anticlimactic.
I'm not gonna like to interrupt you real quick. I feel like this team would be weirdly a very weird feeling, but I feel like it'd be kind of dangerous in the playoffs.
Unless they face the Bears first round of the playoffs.
Oh, they face the Bears. There's no way Carson Wentz loses that game.
I think that's the only matchup that I'm very confident that they would win.
They won't lose that game.
Because
I feel like this team might be a little dangerous in the playoffs.
Like right now, before we go, and we've said that 15,000 times already, like in the last 10 minutes.
It's funny, Liam was supposed to leave like 20 minutes ago.
No, I'm being shouted at on Twitter already. It's not good.
Liam has a cult following.
I don't know what's happened. Quarantine hit different.
I went to tag you in my Twitter today, and I came up under PSN Liam Jenkins, and it was like a weird picture of somebody else.
Oh, no. That one's my backup in case this one dies. That's just Doug Peterson there, like, because I know eventually this account's going to blow up because of copyright stuff like happened before. So I've just got a little backup there ready and waiting just so I can pick up where I left off.
All right, so right now, Seattle's number 1 seed, so they will get the bye.
Mm-hmm.
So the Packers would have the number 2 seed. Actually, no, Tampa has the 2 seed because they won last night. So Tampa has the 2 seed, Green Bay has the 3 seed. We have the 4 seed. New Orleans would have the 5 seed right now. The Cardinals are the 6 seed, and the Bears are number 7 because the Rams lost. So it would be 4 versus 7, I think. 3 versus 6. 2 versus 5, right?
That was 4 versus 5.
Well, it's the 7th. They have 7 teams now.
Oh, they expanded. I forgot.
Unless is it 2 versus 7, 3 versus 6, 4 versus 5?
Oh, I feel like I'm doing arithmetic as a child.
I like this feeling.
So that means it would be. So right now it would be Eagles versus Saints in the playoffs. Cardinals versus
Malcolm
Green Bay.
Jenkins versus Carson
Green
Wentz.
Bay. And then Tampa versus. Wouldn't that be something? Tampa versus Chicago. And Nick Foles beats Tom Brady.
What is up with that situation? Like, I don't get it. Like, how bitter are you?
Who cares? We're done with the podcast.
Oh wow, you just close the podcast like that. That's all it is? Just close the podcast like that?
Just so everybody knows, my watch is coming. My watch is in the mail from LaTerrain.com.
Oh, I've still not ordered mine. Bollocks. I've got to do that.
Bollocks.
Sorry.
Mine is on its way. I got the Voyager. It's beautiful. Go to La-Terrain, LA-TOURINE.com. FTB10 at checkout, 10% off.
I can't wear nice watches.
It's beautiful.
I have my Apple Watch and that's it. I can't wear nothing else that's nice.
I've never worn a watch. I just never wear them. So like, this is my first time. So I'm trying to get one. But I keep.
I have an Apple Watch and I still check the time on my phone.
That's what I'm guilty of doing. And I was going to get an Apple Watch, and then I don't do enough exercise, and I started doing exercise, and then we're in lockdown again. So
this is just before we go. This is very topical. Philadelphia right now. Philadelphia. Only like 9% is in on the vote. 93.8%.
Oh,
Biden.
We love that, right? I think.
Yes.
Well, surely we do for the majority. If you're in the 7%, I'm sorry I don't love it, but you know.
And just to put this out there, because I know, it doesn't matter who you vote for. At the end of the day, guys, just don't spew hate to each other. Like, come on, let's be better than that, please. That's all I ask. I told people at my work, and they're very MAGA supporters, and
I will say, the town that I teach in is very, very, very affluent, very rich. Taxes range from $30,000 to $50,000 a year. Just taxes.
Wait, property tax?
Yes.
Are you serious?
These homes go for millions and millions of dollars in my town that I teach in. There was an article put up by NJ.com a few days ago that says, "Look at how your town voted in 2016."
Mm-hmm.
So I clicked on my town, and they were Clinton, but I was shocked. I was so sure that my town was crazy MAGA people, but they're not. And then looking around the town, there's crazy Biden. There's so many Biden signs in my town. It's crazy.
My town is full of people that wear the red hats, and it's not the Phillies. So yeah, that's how it is around my area. But guys, just please don't spew hate, and leave Liam alone. Let him enjoy flipping the birds without being called out on Twitter, please. All right. I know his little coat is listening. You better stop the nonsense.
Hey, no, mine just replies to everything's just where nowadays. I feel like I'm Randy Orton. Like the second anyone leaves a hateful comment, I'm just like, where? And then I wait for the nibble, and it's just, where did I ask? And then take him down.
People are even more angry at Carson Wentz right now because Trump won North Dakota.
Uh-oh.
So they're blaming it on how Carson Wentz dressed at the press conference.
But he influenced it.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't a vibe.
But
It's an
guys,
individual mentally scarred me for a while.
All right, guys, I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
you're not going to bed. Stop lying. You're going to be on Twitter
I
for at
am.
least like 30 more minutes.
I am going to bed. I'm going to let my dog out. I'm going upstairs to bed.
You're not going to bring your dog back in?
Yes. No. Maybe.
Just let him out.
Anyways, guys.
Done with the podcast. Dog's outside. I'm having a nap, mate. See you later.
Big shout out to Liam for joining us today and giving us a good podcast outside of just talking football. I hope you guys enjoy this one. I'm Bryan Cameron. He's Chris Fonte.
I just love the reactions to the quote so far. If I Google Brian Walter Thurman Dick, it's a really good reaction right now.
He's playing baseball.
This is Flipping the Birds. We'll see you guys next week. Enjoy the bye. Enjoy your football without the Eagles playing, please.
And shout out to New Jersey teachers this week. We have off on Thursday and Friday.
My daughter is off school the whole week.
Every November, New Jersey teachers, all New Jersey schools are off the first Thursday and Friday of November.
And shout out to Sony, who's going to be shipping out the PlayStation soon. Okay? Yeah. Big shout out to you guys.
I'm going down to the Jersey Shore this weekend with my mask on.
Isn't it cold as hell?
Who cares?
God, you're like a polar bear. Anyways, guys, tune into next week. Flipping the Birds. Bryan Cameron, Chris Fonte.
You just call me fat.
I didn't call you fat.
Go Birds.
Yes, sir.